Good evening.
Hey.
What's going on?
How was your weekend?
Terrible. Love it.
I feel like I'm getting a lot of those.
It's a rough year. It's really a rough year. I mean, it's a rough year in my dynasty keeper. Like that one's been the most devastating. My losses have been like the worst as they could be. In KFFL, it's like I can only put up like 110, 115 plus points and lose two players, 3 weeks out of 6 so far for so long before it matters. Like Amon-Ra has one snap, goes down immediately. That devastatingly crushed my entire day. Yeah. $4 Aaron Rodgers, forgot how to play football. Like it's rough.
It might be time to move on.
Oh, it definitely is. I've been looking. I a couple weeks ago, someone asked about trading Derek Carr for Aaron Rodgers on Twitter, and you chimed in. I have Derek Carr of Aaron Rodgers this year. Like he's that like.
Wait, you have them both? Is that what?
No, I'm saying I have that version of Aaron Rodgers. Like Aaron Rodgers used to be the 22 plus point weekly fantasy football quarterback. Now it's 14, 15, the occasional 18, middle of the road, which is fine, but it's not. I mean, I paid $4. I got what I paid for, but that's not the Aaron Rodgers that we know. He's not running the ball, which he's getting older. Maybe has a lot to do with it. But his receivers
hasn't been a huge part of his game for a while. But yeah,
receivers not staying healthy. I don't know what the hell it is. The offensive scheme is not working. Now he's coming out saying people need to lose reps if they're not, producing this and that. So,
well, jokes on him. Nobody's healthy to get reps.
Yeah, so he's not really taking any away back for at least a day or two, but yeah, it's rough.
Oh man, did you win KFFL?
No, I actually got. What is it called? I guess I had the biggest blowout this week. Yeah, biggest blowout. Yeah, 42-point loss. My opponent just went 157 on me, and what am I gonna do?
Well, I did have the benefit of playing somebody who seems to have phoned it in. They were 1-5 going into it, and they started Kirk Cousins on bye.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's my favorite.
I
try. I try. That's my thing. I paid money. I'm gonna get my value out of it.
Well, and you could argue in a tournament league like this that if people just abandon their teams, perhaps there should be a little oversight where you at least just put in somebody on the bench who's healthy. Something like that. Somebody who's not on a bye, because for parity. Somebody might squeak in. I
hate it because
free wins.
I hate it because usually people do it the last few weeks of the season where they have to play the top 4 or 5 players where a win to them is huge because it almost locks them to the playoffs. So some people are essentially just getting buys for no reason the last 2 weeks. And I always tell people when I was running leagues, if you're not going to play every week, I don't want you in my league.
100%. I mean, that doesn't happen in a home league. You'll kick somebody out, or
100%. Yeah.
In a league like this, I mean, it's a little different.
Yeah.
That's why I'm pro punishments for last place teams, because then people still try to compete at the end.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing that keeps my dynasty league on its feet. The person that finishes last every year faces punishment from the league champion. So there's been some. I've been fortunate in the 6 years that we've been doing it to avoid last place, which has been fucking awesome. But
my wife's cousin,
it's not good.
My wife's cousin's league has 13 players in a 12-team league, and last place each year gets relegated to nothing. They just sit out the league for a year.
I like that.
And they still pay dues, and they're still expected to go to the draft, and they don't get to play. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I guess the guy that got relegated this year had won the championship 2 out of the last 4 years, and then just had an off year.
So, I mean, he can afford to sit out a year. No worries, he can afford it. But
man, so I won my KFFL matchup. I had another good week across leagues. I'm at 5-1. My loss was in a league where I have Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts in my 2 quarterback league, both on bye. And I played Brissett and Heineke. And I actually lost by 1 point with Ramondre Stevenson. And if they'd have converted that last 4th down, he'd probably got that extra point. But I'm in good position there. So I'm 6-1 in KFFL, first in my division. But I've had 2 just back to back 90, 97, 99 point weeks. Not great output.
Yeah, like the time it's crazy because the times that I'm touching, like, and the problem this week was it was 110 with Tampa Bay's defense putting up 1 point against PJ Walker. I had James Robinson over Antonio Gibson, which was 0-16, and then Amon-Ra just went down immediately. Yeah. And that was just an egg. Even with Amon-Ra putting up a 15, 20-point game and me having a Gibson in my lineup, I was still going to lose by like 5 points. But the recipe was there. It's just got unfortunate with the early injury, I think.
Yeah, the ARSP thing hurts because that's a guy that can give you 30 any given week. So, although I don't think he's going to do it against Dallas, but he'd have got you more than, 0.4 or whatever it was.
Maybe 10 points. Maybe he doesn't find the end zone, but maybe he ends up with,
Might have kept you off the biggest blowouts list at least.
Whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I accept and move on. I have we'll get to it towards the end. I want to get the injuries and the waiver wire. We have a
little shout out to my local brewery here, New Glory. Fantastic West Coast.
I haven't heard of them before.
Delicious. Oh, it's here in California. I think it's my favorite brewery in the greater area.
Big fan of Russian River.
Oh yeah, some Pliny.
Big fan of Pliny.
Yeah,
the older and the younger. Big fan. Well, and when I drank, yes, they were my. They were nice.
I didn't realize that had the East Coast.
Oh yeah, dude! It's like there's a couple like small eateries, but they have decent beer. So like they will do like a beer feature night, and Pliny was always one of the features in December. So it was nice. Limit 2 glasses per person.
Of course.
Until like they deemed, okay, no one else is gonna come in, y'all can go crazy. But yeah, it was good. I liked it. It was good beer. I mean, it's great beer, but yeah.
Doughboy, we got a guest trying to come up here.
We do. I gotta read the private chat. Yep.
Hey. What's up, guys?
What's up, Pizza?
Oh, rocking that Phillies hat, huh?
Got to.
I'm excited for you guys. I fucking hate the Astros, so.
Yeah?
I'm a Mariners guy.
I think as long as the offense stays hot like they are, they've got a pretty good chance of taking it.
The energy in Philadelphia is up there right now, and it has been since that Rhys Hoskins home run last weekend, and then Harper following it up and just taking over the game.
Oh, it was huge.
Yeah, dude, it's the energy's wild. And I told my boss because like I don't work in South Philly where it's gonna be mob, but Philly's gonna be going crazy. The amount of people that come into work now for like coffee and shit like that and like food because of like everyone just being in the city is nuts. And like that first home game, I feel like we're just gonna get mobbed with people early, just looking to get in, get a little snack, and then head down to the stadium. But if they win the first game at home, I don't think they're losing this series personally. Like I said, that Rhys Hoskins home run that put them ahead against, I guess, the Braves and it was like, who they played before San Diego? They played the Braves, right?
Yeah, in the DS, NLDS. Yeah, they
were down. Rhys bombed, brought him back in. Harper bombed again, brought him back in, and the energy from there was just rolling through. So like,
oh man, they've been smashing the ball.
The city's just been on fire. Like everybody's like, this is next level. I mean, Philly always gets like this when championships are out. I remember the last time they were in a series, it was fucking nuts. Like,
and they haven't been to the playoffs in 11 years. So I mean, this is just.
That series, they also postponed the game. So, like, after they postponed that game, the city mobbed anyway, and then they had to come back for the 2 innings, for the inning and a half, and then went completely ballistic again. Like, it was wild. So I was a part of it, it was nuts.
Love it.
My buddies were at the 18-inning Astros game where it's an afternoon game. They stopped serving beer in the middle of the 7th, and they're just like, texted me like 13th inning, getting a little sober. 15th inning, all right, totally sober. We can't leave.
See, that's the worst.
Yeah,
they should at least reopen it for 1 round, but we're not here for baseball anymore. We're here for
football. That's right. How's your KFFL team?
Doing well. I'm 6-1 now.
Same.
So I started off and I'm in 5 fantasy leagues, and I started off 0-5. I lost every single one, but then in KFFL, I've won 6 in a row. And I will say that this week I got lucky. I played against Jigga, and he picked up Eno Benjamin, and they played Thursday night, so I think he forgot about him, so he left him on the bench. And then he decided to play Lamar Jackson over Burrow, and it worked out well for me.
Yeah.
So I
worked out well for one of you.
I took the W, and yeah.
We might be able to chalk the Eno mistake up to the COVID. That one. That one.
No,
that one might be.
On Jigga's COVID.
On Jigga's COVID. Yeah, Jigga was all messed up. When I talked to him Friday afternoon, he was extremely sick. So I'll allow the chalk up, but still, yeah, missing out on I guess what would have been like 22 points in our league.
Yeah, I mean, COVID at his age can be pretty debilitating.
Yeah, he was cooked when I talked. But yeah, missing out on Eno is that's a
23.3 points.
That's a lot.
What's your team look like, Pizza?
My weakest part is my quarterback. I've got Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr, and it's a toss up between who do I start because I have no idea what they're going to do.
We just talked about start Carr.
Yeah.
I would be starting.
Especially now, what receivers is Rodgers throwing to right now?
Sammy Watkins is back.
That's it, Lazard. Right? I mean, Amari Rodgers. Everybody's hurt. Lazard's in a shoulder sling.
Is he?
Bad. Yeah, he's missing his 3.
Dobbs, I think, is banged up. Watson's hammy's still out. Like, if they don't make a trade, you're looking at Tunyon. You're looking at Tunyon time, probably. Oh. And Aaron Jones is going to feast.
Yeah.
AJ Dillon might get some catches, too.
I don't want to play Carr, but...
I'll put it this way.
Cynthia thinks I should play Daniel Jones. Or should pick Daniel Jones up off the waivers and play him instead.
Yeah, he ran for 100 yards. It's hard to argue it.
It's true.
I mean, if you're running for 80 yards, I'll take that quarterback floor all day.
What were you going to say, Doughboy?
I would say, like, I sat up here last week and I talked about the bye week for the Raiders. I'm a Raiders fan, and I'm a real Raiders fan because I understand we're shit. But this team going into a bye, losing the close games that they lost, if they didn't come out and fire on all cylinders with the offense, I would have been very concerned about using any of the players. But they came out and hammered the offense like they should have against a bad team. And as long as Derek Carr is throwing the ball to Devontae Adams, you can do nothing but profit.
Oh, yeah. It's money.
And it's crazy, too, because we don't have Darren Waller, but Foster Moreau is like
he's
a very good tight end. He's a very good tight end. He just gets overshadowed from Waller.
So is Waller going to be out again this week?
I don't know. I haven't looked at
the
report for them. I just saw that they made a trade.
My gut's telling me, yeah.
But I imagine so, yeah.
I mean, Matt Collins played 100% of the snaps.
Yeah.
And he's a big target. Like, you know, he's out there. He's taking big corners away.
I don't think they have a very bad, like
and also, Josh Jacobs looks like he's going to get,
he's a monster.
Paid as much as any running back gets paid.
He's a fucking monster.
Yeah,
they got to be regretting that 5th-year option declination.
I mean, the next 2 weeks, I would start Carr easily. They get New Orleans this week, Jacksonville a week after, and then they play Indy. And maybe Indy's defense tightens up. I think they can, but
there's no way you could start Rodgers at Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm taking them out right now as we're speaking.
Yeah, I have to go shopping for a quarterback.
I think I would start. And Daniel Jones has Seattle. Now, granted, Seattle. I'm a Seahawks fan, as you might see here or here. But the defense is. We got so many rookies playing, and they're getting better every week. So I don't think they're who we thought they were. Like when the Lions put up, 38 or whatever. But
right.
I mean, you could still score on them.
Yeah, so going down the rest of my list, I got my running backs. I got Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb, and James Conner. But, I mean, he's been on the bench since, like, week 2. But my wide receivers is Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, Amari Cooper, Adam Thielen, and DK Metcalf. So I'm solid at wide receiver.
Oh, yeah, you're stacked.
And then I got Goddard at tight end with Tunyon as a backup. So – I got a pretty decent team, which is obviously I'm 6-1. So,
do you remember what you paid for Hopkins?
I think I got him for $7.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
I must have overpaid. I paid $13 for him. I thought I got a steal.
I got a big steal.
$7. Yeah, I would say. I mean, listen, we talked about it last week, like whether or not he was going to come in and have a big game. He came in and have a big game. They looked for him early and often, and that's like a huge sign. But
and they made sure he got his 100 yards receiving with that extra pass at the very end of the game when there should have been running. They're like, yeah, go ahead and get 100. Take it.
That goes towards the incentives too. Again, how many 100-yard games does he have?
Right.
But yeah, it might be a Daniel Jones week. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately because I can't stand starting a Giant.
You're kind of at the point now where, like, if you get Daniel Jones, I would just drop Rodgers. You're gonna really roster 3 quarterbacks?
No, that's the thing. Is like if I got Jones, do I drop Rodgers or Carr, or do I just say screw it?
You have to drop Rodgers at this point.
Yeah, he's QB 17.
It's so tough to do that though. He's not good, but
he's not like I said. I opened the show with it. Like he's just not that 20 plus point quarterback anymore. He's like that 14 to 18 point quarterback, which is fine, but it's not what you want in like a league like this.
It's not fine in a tournament like this. Like you need somebody like Daniel Jones,
and he's just constantly losing weapons every week. Like
and saying that about Daniel Jones doesn't feel right.
It doesn't make it. Dropping Rodgers to pick up Daniel Jones. This is blowing my mind over here. But I saw in the last 2 games, the Packers receivers have had 10 drops in 2 games. I mean, balls hitting them in the hands, and they just drop it. Like Rodgers
drops.
Yeah, he can't do anything because his receivers are so bad.
Yeah, he came out. I said earlier, he came out and was like demanding that players lose reps if they can't keep their hands on the ball. Like you can't catch the ball, you don't deserve the reps. Like,
I mean, as much as I think Rodgers, a bit of a D-bag, he's right. If you can't catch the ball, you shouldn't be out there. Yeah. I mean, that's football 101.
So, but yeah, between that and all the injuries, it's hard to start Rodgers anymore. Like until you see more, and like it's already middle of the season, and really nobody has time to see more. Like a lot of people are in win now mode. And, like y'all two have a cushion, but not being secure a quarterback isn't.
I got a cushion, but my team's getting worse.
Well, yeah, it's good to have the cushion now that it's doing that, so you have time to figure. Like you can afford to lose a game or two. To try and like tighten the bolts up a little bit.
Well, the next question would be if I were to try and get Daniel Jones, how much would you guys put down with your fab money? How much should I risk to try to get him? Because I'm not going to spend like $30 on him because that's just I'd rather.
How much do you have?
I've got I think I've got like I got $69.
Nice. My view on fab is you don't get it at the end of the season,
right?
So if you need a position, you pay for that position, like
right. But
my only disclaimer to that, because I 100% agree, would be we have a $1 minimum league. You don't want to get stuck without money at the end when you're you want to be able to you figure you're going to the tourney. Right. You at least need to be able to make $1 like defensive substitutions or whatever it is. So I think. You want to at least bring, say, like $12 into the playoffs if you're 6-1, knowing like you got a great shot to make it. You can't be stuck not being able to make roster moves.
My go-to number for players has been $15 or $16, no matter who the player was.
I haven't seen any huge.
I got slapped in the teeth last week with a $15 bid, and someone 16'd me. I was really sick, but yeah, like
the rest of your team is solid. You're not really looking for a lot of other fillers.
If you have bench depth also, then it's just like there's no reason to like. I mean, like I said, if I need the position and I'm hurting there, I will pay up for it to almost guarantee I get it.
Honestly, Pizza, Jig is in your league, right?
Yeah.
You got 5 solid receivers. I would try to just get Lamar.
I tried offering him up something, but
I saw it wasn't great.
He was on. He was on stream with Cynthia, so he wanted to be extra tough. So it's just like.
I think the last offer that came through, she was like, it could work, but that was the DJ Moore offer, right?
That was maybe not that one. It was the one after that. I can't remember who it was.
DJ Moore, Robinson, and another quarterback, maybe.
Maybe. But
it doesn't make sense to give.
Kept saying DeAndre Hopkins, and like I got DeAndre Hopkins, but do I want to give up DeAndre Hopkins?
who are your
Yeah, exactly. That's my dilemma of like,
if DK wasn't hurt,
yeah,
if he wasn't hurt, I'd say, I mean, that makes your team better week to week as far as just points you can actually count.
But
so
I've got Tyreek, Amari Cooper, and Adam Thielen, and DeAndre Hopkins and DK.
Amari Cooper has been quite a surprise.
Yeah,
I think he's wide receiver 11.
I think I got him for maybe $3. You know, it was.
I only got him in one league, and it's just because he fell so far that like I couldn't let it go. But I did not see this coming at all.
Me either.
Metaverse King is offering you Russell Wilson if you're interested.
Oh my god! I need to pull up YouTube so I can laugh at that.
You'll probably have to pay him in addition to taking Russell Wilson.
Let's bring up that injuries list. See what we're looking at. We've a couple of big ones. I think there was one I forgot to put on here.
I mean, there is one giant one.
Yeah, I mean the Breece Hall one is.
Breece Hall
he's having a good season.
The Breece Hall shook up fantasy a little bit also, so that's a good one to.
Yeah, he was like RB6 coming in this week. I think Kenneth Walker has to be the runaway favorite for Rookie of the Year.
That's my man.
Offensive. Amon-Ra, so initially they ruled it a concussion. I did hear today that it was more like some sort of non-concussion related ataxia.
I heard that as well.
I don't really know what that means. Like if you're having ataxia, maybe he either has like super low magnesium levels. I mean, you don't usually have ataxia without some sort of neurological component. So,
yeah, but I'm not really worried about him missing any time since it wasn't officially a concussion.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he's probably a buy target. Owners of, especially if the team with Amon-Ra is struggling, you're looking at somebody who hasn't done shit in 4 weeks. He's already had his bye, so he's a great ad.
My man's.
Njoku's going to be out for a while, it sounds like.
2 to 5, I think. Yeah, someone just sent me a trade offer for Gerald Everett. They offered me Henderson and David Njoku for Gerald Everett, who's on.
You have another tight end?
I have Tunyon. I'm considering it. Like,
I mean, I would take that if you need a running back.
Yeah, I don't need a running back. That's the thing. But there's a world I can just move him for something else. But yeah, Njoku's like cooked, and I think most likely won't be relevant if it is 5 weeks. I can't imagine he'll make lineups when he gets back anyway because of the playoffs.
As tight end, you only need to see one performance to make lineups.
This is true.
It's not, DK. So they said he doesn't need surgery. It sounds like, so that's good. But we don't know anything else. I can't imagine he plays this week.
Yeah, I think he was saying that he wants to play this week. So I mean, he's going to try to be tough, but there's no way he's going to play. You don't risk the best player on your team. I think to
franchise player, 24-year-old franchise player. I would rather
Corey Davis. Nobody was really starting him anyways, but it could mean something for the other receivers.
And what happened to Corey Davis?
He's out.
Missed that.
I think he might go to IR is what I saw.
Really?
So, are you looking that up, Doughboy?
Yeah, trying to, yeah.
Okay, so Lazard, I know, is in a shoulder sling. Unclear what his actual status is, but not great for a receiver.
Michael Williams Corey Davis day to day, but yeah, he wasn't making your roster. And I don't really think, like...
He's rosterable, I guess, but...
What's
the point if you're not starting?
Yeah, like he was single-digit points, like, every week, except for 2, 3. It's been bad for him since they switched to Zach Wilson.
Now, Mike Williams is a big one, I think. If you got Keenan Allen out, or whatever, a shell of Keenan Allen's out there in the field, and Mike Williams out, Josh Palmer is on bye next week, so people aren't going to be on him, but it might be a great stash.
DeAndre Carter could move up a little bit too, but I don't. I think Palmer's probably the one to trust out of all of those outside of the
problem. Is Palmer's been banged up too, so
yeah,
right.
So it looks like
Palmer might get 30 catches.
Yeah, glad I spent up on him, and I'm sitting here with a losing record. Damn, that sucks. Like I end up with like the nut high for running back this year in full point PPR, and I can't fight my way back into it.
Oh, Jigga's asking the questions.
Does a Hopkins for Lamar make sense? I don't know. I don't know. I would be more willing to do it if DK just didn't get hurt. But it makes me think, because I would love to have Lamar Jackson on my team. I really would.
Jigga, who's your
I
backup?
think the thing is, I think it makes you better as far as like your ideal lineup. It makes you better,
right?
But yeah, I mean, receivers more replaceable. There are no quarter. I mean, you could wait and see if you get Daniel Jones on waivers, but you're
Daniel Jones or Lamar Jackson.
Well, Daniel Jones outscored him, I think, 3 weeks in a row, so it's not that easy to question.
So I might just try and see what happens tomorrow morning on the waivers. I don't know, but I'll think about it, Jigga. I will.
I think it's.
I don't like stepping in on people's trades, but I feel like the Hopkins side would have to give up more than just Hopkins. But that's just me.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hopkins isn't going to be.
I thought his first game back.
Is Hopkins going to be a top 5 receiver by the end of the year? Like starting from now, do you think?
Is Lamar going to play like a quarterback 1 the rest of the season? I mean, there's a lot of unknowns with both.
There are, but I still think a quarterback that can give you like a ceiling of.
Yeah, but he has Burrow. He's not.
Who has Burrow?
Jigga.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he doesn't even need Lamar.
Yeah.
Not saying that he could.
I still feel like it's just giving it away. Like I feel like there should be something else on the other side.
on the Degen Huddle, he showed some of the other offers he was getting, and
I imagine they're all. I don't know. Like I also, not everyone trades the same way either. Not everyone values positions and players the same either, which is like why I like people asking questions. But I know some people just like they don't go the extra mile to do the extra research on it. I personally would think I would need like something else on the Hopkins side, but that's me.
Whoever's king. Chris Godwin is like wide receiver 42, and Bateman is, I don't know.
That's the problem.
Wide receiver 3?
Jackson doesn't throw the ball, so Bateman's whatever.
Well, see, like with what you're saying, Doughboy, is that Jigga would need more. But when you look at Jigga's need at wide receiver, he'd be more inclined to give up more.
That's the other thing. I don't know the roster situation either. So like
he's got
just hearing that straight up for one another to me is like
right. He's got Jamar Chase, but besides that, he's hurting a bit. Let me see who Jigga's got.
It was bad. It was 2-3, and then even flex options weren't good.
All right.
I mean, I think he's got a bad record, right?
Jigga is now 3-4.
He's got to trade a quarterback for somebody that can make it better right now.
Jamar Chase.
We'll just go into quarterbacks while we're talking about quarterbacks.
G. Wilson, Jay Reynolds, Curtis Claypool.
Curtis. You sound like my wife reading names.
And then Corey Davis. So he's got Jamar Chase. That's about it. So he needs some help at wide receiver. So
then I would be definitely inclined to ask for more on the other side. Because if I'm just like improving, if I'm him, I have to improve a little bit more. Like it doesn't matter if I had, like I understand I have another top quarterback, but I still think like getting like you can get 2 wide receiver 2s or middle of the pack wide receiver 2s from Lamar easy.
Yeah, I think you could. I think at this point we have to value Hopkins as probably a low-end wide receiver 1. He had a ton of targets his first game back.
Yeah.
Is the first game Kyler looked halfway decent when he finally had somewhere to go, like security-wise. I think he's probably just going to force feed him, even if they're awful. As long as he stays healthy, I think you can't view him as a wide receiver 2, which I thought. I mean, we last few weeks I kept saying I don't think Hopkins is going to be it, but he looked pretty good.
Oh, I know.
We'll see if he fatigues. I mean. Side. Yeah, you were. Now I feel like we swap sides on this argument, but
no, I still think he's going to get targets, and I'm not devaluing what I think Hopkins was. Trust me, I've been on Hopkins since I got him for $13. But I still think like if you're a 6-1 team, he's trying to fill holes and gaps. If you have depth to offer up because you're trying to solidify your one position, I think there's a world where he could just get like something else. Like I don't know the league. I would be more inclined to look at both rosters, but that would be like an hour-long show to sit here and like work out trades.
Don't worry about that. Matter of fact, I'll let you guys get back to your business. I'm going to go ahead and take off, but I had a good time.
Yeah, thanks
All
for
right,
coming up.
Thanks for inviting me on.
Mm-hmm.
Good talking with you, and yeah, we'll
Good
talk
luck.
soon. Thanks. See you.
All right, catch you then.
All right. Yeah, so we pretty much touched on quarterbacks. Daniel Jones seems to be our consensus number one ad this week.
Yeah, I mean, I still think Winston has a lot of potential. It's just
when he comes back. Yeah,
He's
when he comes back,
active the last two games. I think they were, pretending to lean on his injury to see if Dalton might be better for them. But I think the 3 picks probably puts wins. Was it 4? Was it shit?
I think he had 4, but like two of them really weren't his fault. Like they were they touched the receiver. Oh my god, the stream crash. Someone in chat, am I still here? My solo? Someone say something. Is JungleGoat gone? All right. I don't know what the fuck just happened there. But for the most part, we're on the same side of the fence when it comes to quarterback ads this week with Jones, Winston, Fields. I threw in PJ Walker and I threw in Ellinger as deep league 2 quarterback league ads if you have that. Or if people like to keep multiple quarterbacks on their bench and you absolutely need a starter this week. Who knows? Colts offense might get rejuvenated. The kid's coming in. He has weapons at running back. He has weapons at wide receiver. 2 big tight ends to throw to. So there's a world where, he could be a 20-point quarterback this week in fantasy. But yeah, I think with Winston, if he's healthy, like he's worth a start. Daniel Jones, obviously, if he's going to run the ball, then he's worth a start. Fields in the same boat. He's had 80-some yards rushing and a touchdown. So I think those are fine ways to go. I'm going to not wait for him. And Winston is not starting. We'll know 100% by Thursday. I think the final injury report comes out. Or Friday, rather. But he's something to keep on the radar. Let's move to... Let's do wide receivers next. Let's see where we mark up. I don't think we actually match up that much. Just once, twice. For me, Campbell's still an ad. He got peppered with targets last week, even with bad Matt Ryan. Like I said, the kid might have a solid chance. He has Campbell back full-time now. He'll have Pittman. So he'll have places to throw the ball. Like I said, it's a risky start. Campbell's like a flex if you are on bye week blues and you just have to start something. Wan'Dale Robinson, Daniel Jones throwing the ball to someone, and it's him. Meikle's starting to come up in targets a little bit more. He obviously had a great game this past weekend, but it's not guaranteed every week. It could rotate between Scantling, Travis Kelce, one of the running backs. But you good?
I guess so. I guess it was me who went out.
I thought it was me for a second. I was like, this is typical because my internet's shit. But
no, I got at my house right now, so I'm on my cell phone.
I finished up the quarterbacks because we pretty much agreed on everything and just touched on the two that I had added. And then here I just started with Campbell and I'm on the Robinson now. Well, Hardman as well, but
all right. So Campbell, here's my issue with Campbell. We got this rookie starting who, if you look at his college career, he did throw, I think, 70% of his passes to receivers, so that's good. Campbell's targets are short targets, but man, what's this? Campbell's 4th year in the league.
Yeah, but his target share the last 2 weeks has gone up since he's back in the rotation, like full time. But it was with Matt Ryan. But I touched on him because I had him on my quarterback. I had Ellinger on my ad list in like the deep 2 quarterback leagues, or if like you absolutely need something. Oh my god, he's cooked. He's cooked. You good?
Yep. Sorry, I pushed a button. I didn't know what it was.
But yeah, with Ellinger, I think he comes into a situation where he has weapons at wide receiver. He has weapons at running back. He has tight ends that are big and can catch the ball. So like he has everything to set him up for success. I don't think Campbell's like a slot in start this week. I think it's to like see what happens, see if he actually spreads the ball around. And then maybe next week he's like a flex option. Or if you absolutely need someone this week, then you could play him. But I don't think the kid's terrible. Like I said, I think he comes into a decent situation. Like he's not coming into like a shit team. Like he's coming in with weapons at the helm. So he had 6 weeks to sit back and get a visual of what not to do. So maybe it works out in the end.
I mean, he's had 4 years to do that. I think Wan'Dale Robinson's my number one receiver ad.
Yeah.
I'm mad at myself for not picking him up.
I lost my bid last week by $1 for him. I had a $15 bid, someone bid 16. So,
well, I started talking about it a couple weeks ago. Just when he's come back, he was, high draft pick. He was an early second rounder.
He was their guy before he got hurt. Before the season started. So.
He got 6 for 50 on 8 targets, but I think the ceiling is very high.
And then we talked about Palmer. That's pretty. If Williams is out and Allen's going to be out, and Palmer's at least 80%.
Palmer is a fantastic ad.
Yeah, and good. Marquise Goodwin to me. If Metcalf misses time, I think you could flex him while he's out. But
no, I think
it might be a hold and see. Like unless you absolutely need. I don't know if I'm starting Godwin this week if I don't need to.
You need somebody to start this week. Goodwin's a great start this week. That's the guy you pick up because you got somebody on bye. You need a flash start with upside. That's who that is. As soon as DK comes back, Goodwin shouldn't be on your roster. So I think if DK misses, then you start Goodwin this week and you hope that he gets some of DK's targets. I memean, the guy's an Olympian. He got 5 targets. That second touchdown he caught. I mean, he must have had like a 38, 39-inch vert on that catch. The guy's an absolute athlete. He's just a little older. He's probably as fast as DK, or if not faster. He's the NCAA champion Olympic sprinter.
I believe they had a money race. I don't know if DK was part of it. I know Tyreek Hill was in it. Goodwin, I think this was like last year. They all put up like 10,000 or something, and they just had like a head-to-head race. And obviously Tyreek Hill won, I think. But Goodwin was like a close second. But yeah, he's just speed. And that was the one thing, like he never caught on with the team like as their number one. He was always that like.
I mean, he had a really good year in San Francisco where he had like 1,100 yards, but he just was hurt a lot. So I don't know. If DK's out, you could start Goodwin this week for sure. And as soon as DK's back, you drop him.
And then you have Zay Jones on here.
The guy is getting 10 targets a week. He's not doing a ton with them. He's getting you 8 to 12 points or so. He's a fine wide receiver 3. He just
reliable. Feels like
the upside is capped.
Yeah, it just feels like a time bomb for him. Like he gets all these targets, but nothing happens. And then the week that you get him, you're like
just not scoring.
Yeah, this week he starts turning those targets into like touchdowns is like 30-point weeks for him.
But, you meant a good time bomb. Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh yeah, it's just a frustrating one right now because he could just be a 10-point wide receiver with 12 targets, and that stinks. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think it's like all upside, assuming he keeps getting peppered.
Real quick, like MVS, the guy scores 3 touchdowns. You have to bring him up. It's always going to be a roulette wheel there. But if you're looking for a 1-week flash starter, the upside's there. Holland's playing 100% of the snaps. He's a big target. He's whatever. Derek Carr seems to like him.
Yeah, as long as Waller's out, I think he's going to be. He just targets only 3 targets though. It's a problem. Like he got peppered in week 3 against Tennessee. The week before that, he got peppered. But Renfro was also out. What did Renfro do this game?
Yeah, I mean he's just out there.
3 targets. Yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah, it's just guys,
weird. Other than the Wan'Dale Robinson, I'm not very excited about.
Yeah, the target distribution for them on Sunday was really weird. Devontae only had 9 targets. I thought he had like 13 or 14. But yeah. Outside of Robinson and honestly, it's probably just Robinson is number 1 priority on the list. And then
Yeah, I mean, Palmer's a
Goodwin,
great ad just for speculative potential number one guy. And
Palmer, then Goodwin.
Goodwin, you could absolutely start this week.
Yeah, if DK's out, I mean, if DK's hinting that he wants to play, but
If
again,
DK's out, right.
That's a 24-year-old franchise.
I mean, shit, I want to play.
Yeah, I mean, I want to win, but it's not always going to happen. Not always going to happen. All right, so let's move to running backs. Ooh, both our lists are nice.
Gus Edwards is the obvious one. He, my 6 leagues, he was available in 2 of them on Sunday. I picked him up in both, so I can't imagine he's really out there in any KFFL leagues, but he's under that threshold.
It's just rough because last week it was Drake. This week it was Edwards. They've liked Edwards for how many years running now, like to be their runner. Who's it going to be next week?
Well, it'll be Edwards.
I hope
it'll be Edwards.
It's just
the
tough, like
concern, Dobbins is on IR, so
yeah, that's
on IR.
Thing.
They have a bye coming up, so you're looking at least 4 fantasy weeks, 3 actual game weeks where Edwards will be, I think, the clear-cut carries leader. He's not really going to get any catches, but he's been statistically fantastic throughout his career. He's just always kind of been in a complimentary role.
Yeah, they just
so the question is
the times they feed him is like he's what they want him to be, but they just never go back to that.
Well, they don't have a lot of options now. So
the Gus Bus is nice.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. If you can get him, get him. The rest of the guys are. I'm getting a little excited about Rachaad White. If he's still out there, I think you got to grab him. He's cutting into Fournette's work. He's a little more quick titch. He's getting a little better at blocking, kind of building up some of those skills. Brady's going to trust him a little more.
6 carries. Yeah, I mean, it's true. The Bucs are tough right now.
For me, it was just snap share for White because they're putting him in blocking situations. So, I mean, that they're starting to trust him more. If Brady's letting him sit in there in 3rd downs, that's huge for his overall.
Leonard only had 8 attempts, 3 targets. White 6 attempts, 2 targets. Like, geez, 60%.
That's what 40%.
Yeah, 40% play time for White and 60% for Leonard. So that just seems. What's up with the Bucs? Jesus Christ, the Bucs were supposed to be like one of the fantasy powerhouses this year, and
well, perhaps
sometimes you got an old ass quarterback who's deteriorating.
45, is the cutoff.
Good. It makes me so happy that he's doing terrible. Makes me so happy as a football fan. The world is good again, for the most part.
So we both had Chuba Hubbard on there.
Yeah, Algier, he's getting he got the full. Well, he didn't get the full load. He got 16 carries, but he out carried. What's his name? Huntley.
The only problem with Algier is that Patterson's only on IR for 1 more week.
This is true.
The plus side to Algier is the Falcons will run the ball every down, even if they're down by 30.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's going to get the work. So that part's hard to argue with. I think Pacheco is kind of the kind of guy, if you've got the roster for it, you stash. The Chiefs have a great fantasy playoff schedule, and he's getting a little more work every week, a little more snap percentage. So, it's possible that come playoff time, he's the kind of guy who starts winning championships. But you don't really want to start any Chiefs running back right now.
No. I mean, there's a lot of running backs on here I don't want to start, but I just want to have. And Pacheco's been one I've wanted to have for a while. Edwards is the one on here. I think you can start. Algier would be the next one. And then after that, it's just I don't really want to trust. We talked about it before when someone asked about picking up McCaffrey's handcuff. I know they did good this past weekend, but I don't want to own any running backs on bad teams. I don't want Chuba Hubbard. I don't want Deontay Foreman. I just don't want anything to do with that. But if you need
I hear what you're saying, but I mean,
if you need it,
I got some rosters where I'm happy to have these guys.
I said if you need it, it's there. I'm in a position where I don't need that, so I'm just not targeting that at all.
And I think Samaje Perine is the kind of guy that
he's worth having.
If you're 6-1, 7-0, Mixon's getting a ton of work. Perine's a little involvement, but something happens there. Perine slides into just
high-end RB2 immediately. And if you've got space for a handcuff, that's the one.
Indeed.
It's time to stop carrying guys like, J.D. McKissick and some of the, Chase Claypool, some guys that.
Well, if Claypool gets traded, then it's going to be worth having him. I don't know where he would get traded. Maybe they don't. Maybe they just want to keep all the weapons around.
No, they should trade one of those guys. It doesn't make sense to keep them all.
I mean, they probably get more for Deontay, but
and he wants out anyways.
Mapletron is kind of. I can't imagine wanting out and still getting all your targets. Like, that's just crazy. Whatever. You gotta get yours. I understand. Don't get it, but I understand. Win. Yeah, winning is nice. But also getting paid is nice too.
He's gonna get paid anywhere. Might as well win while you're doing it.
Greed. Some people just need the world. But yeah,
you
can't just have it all. You gotta have all of it, not just all of it. But yeah, and then I think that's pretty straightforward for the running back list. I have Hasty on there as he's just like, if you have the spot for it, just another handcuff piece. And I lost my co-host again. I thought I had the worst internet known to man in Verizon, but Verizon's pretty clutch tonight. So I'll have it set up. Do you have Verizon?
Well, yeah. What happened was I was trying to look at a Discord thing that I was going to bring up, and then I accidentally exited out. I won't do that again.
That's fair. As I say, because normally it's me with the shit internet, and I was like, "There's no way he has."
No, we have a definitely like some sort of systemic outage. I saw my neighbor's like Wi-Fi lights go out, so something's happening in the neighborhood. So yeah, I agree with you. I think Dulcich is probably the ad if you need somebody for the season. If you're looking for a bye week replacement, if DK's out, I think Disley, this could be a great week to play him. I think he's a great DFS guy. He got a few targets there. He's actually like tight end 11 on the year, which I didn't realize because Parkinson and Fant are getting targets.
Yeah, Fant had some end zone targets that I saw. I mean, he had 3 targets.
All those guys are getting.
Yeah.
All of them are getting targets. They run a lot of like tight end slips.
Had 4.
It's I've actually really been completely surprised by how the Seahawks have done this year, but also just Shane Waldron. He went, he's our offensive coordinator at Seattle from the Rams. Last year, I just didn't like a lot of the stuff he did, and this year they're being way more inventive with certain things. It's been fun to watch, but I think it's going to be a great week for him.
It's crazy. Was it really just Russell Wilson the whole time?
No, I don't think so.
Because the offense looks like the offense looks slightly more open than it was in. I mean, also he was. Yeah, maybe not. It looked like when Russell first got their offense, like just explosive and taking chances and doing stuff. Which
no, I think it's more creative now than it even was then. I mean, then it was just beast mode all day, every day.
Well, he might be back in the form of Ken Walker. Ken Walker is kind of nice.
Oh, he looks. I was upset
awesome.
that we wasted that high of used that high of a pick on a running back. You have to really play well, and the team has to also do well to justify that kind of capital.
Yeah. He was.
But I mean, he looks fantastic.
He was my first pick in Dynasty. I kept 4 players. You can keep up to 7, and he was my first real pick. And someone was like, "I don't know why you did that." I was like, "No, me neither. I guess we're not playing Dynasty, so what do I know?" That's who I want. And it panned out. He sat there. But, he's been what I expected to be. He's just that runner. He gets chunk yardage. He follows his blocks.
He's good. Puts
his head down and just fires through. It's great.
The whole team looks good. We're showing a lot of young guys. I mean, I kind of
You recommend I drop Kyle Pitts to pick up Greg Dulcich?
Yeah. 2 weeks ago.
We're probably at that point, unfortunately.
I dropped in the one league I had Kyle Pitts. I've already dropped him. I dropped him 2 weeks ago.
It's tough.
Absolutely, I would.
It's just crazy.
Honestly, I would drop Kyle Pitts to pick up any of the guys on my list and all of the guys on Doughboy's list except for Harrison Bryant.
Yeah, Bryant's on there as the I don't know. I think Brian will be a fine fill-in while Njoku's
He
out.
might be. I mean, Jacoby seems to like his tight ends.
I would definitely start anybody else on these lists over him. But again, if I have to start a tight end, like tight end can just be a wasteland sometimes. And
Unless you're in a dynasty league, I would
That's
drop
true.
hits
They're
for
with-
these guys.
yeah,
You can't, if you're looking at his production, you wouldn't pick him up as a streamer. He's getting 3 targets. The only good stat he has is target share, and that's only because they throw 15 times a game.
I like tight ends in the third year, so next year might be the year, and you might be able to get a huge discount on him. As like, so we think Mariota is going to be the quarterback next year. I imagine they're going to try and target someone to improve.
Yeah, the problem is they've won too many games to. Well, we'll see what happens, but
They
I
trade
think
for someone. Who knows?
Yeah,
maybe they get Aaron Rodgers next year. Who knows?
Is that better for them?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't. I honestly at this point, like if you're at the point where you're showing up to work and you're just getting mad at your coworkers for not doing their jobs, just find another job or just retire. Like that's what it is in the real world. Like if your coworkers aren't doing their jobs the way they're supposed to and no one's gonna help, move on. I mean, obviously it's not as easy in football because contracts and whatnot, but fuck it. Just retire. You have money, like who cares?
This so we got I was office. There's 5 of us in it. We shared a shared small office and in a building offset of the hospital, and we usually have a little candy in there. And our nurse practitioner on Friday mixed a bag of peanut M&Ms and a bag of peanut butter M&Ms into one bag.
She's a lunatic. There's no reason for that.
Thank you for that reaction.
Yeah, there's no reason. Well, peanut butter M&Ms are probably my favorite, chocolate covered candy, and peanut M&Ms fucking suck. So there is a huge distinct difference in the
all
two
the
candies.
takes you've had in our 5 weeks of doing this, this is the one I agree with the most.
Snack food and candy, I'll give you some good takes. I'll go to war on certain things with people about, but yeah, that's psychopath.
My other colleagues went into the bag and manually separated them back out based on size.
It's just not real. That's the type.
Criminal behavior.
I've done some shit before, but I've bought in a bag of Chex Mix and eaten everything except for the pretzels and left the pretzels at someone's house, and they're thinking, "Oh, I got Chex Mix." No, you just got pretzels. I've done that. But I don't think I've ever done anything where it would just that would legitimately just upset me. If I bit into that, I would feel betrayed, and I don't like that. I don't like feeling betrayed.
That sucks. Far too many peanut M&Ms today for my liking.
I hate that. I hate that for you. I hate that happened to you. God damn, that's the worst.
Oh man. Well, I sent the invite to my Steed's bet of the week this week.
Ooh, I have to pull
and he's in Dubai, so it's 5 a.m. there. He thought he'd be up. It looks like he's probably not. So
let me
you can hit it real quick.
Yeah, then we can finish on defenses. Let me get here it is. Copy image.
Oh, while you're doing that, Doughboy, if you're ever looking for any custom helmet work, my wife went ahead and put all these googly eyes onto Taysom Hill autographed helmet.
Oh, that's hold on, we gotta full screen that. That's bedazzled.
Oh yeah. I'm having trouble figuring out how my hand relates to my other hand right now.
I'm trying to figure out why you have an autographed Taysom Hill helmet.
I won it in a break.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right, that's acceptable.
But the googly eyes really put it over the top.
Oh yeah, 100%. Are they on there?
Oh yeah, they are part of it now.
That's nice. You could probably get more for it now, honestly.
I can't sell one of a one like this.
That is true. It is a one of one.
I should have my wife sign the other side of it.
All right, let me pull this up. I have.
You're calling the screenshot I scored. So I scored 97, which was so now in back-to-back Steve's Bets weeks. I've had my worst week of the season in back-to-back weeks.
That's not good.
Still managed to win my KFFL matchup, luckily, but not so lucky on the Steeds bets, I think.
All right, let me see if I can get this right. So, yeah. So he scored 107, I assume. Is that him?
Yeah,
or is
that's
he
him.
Woody Wood? All right.
No, he's the golf guy.
Well.
All right. Well, that's 3 in a row that I lost.
Ooh, and he had Bryce Hall
by
too.
less than 3 points. Yeah, and then I made some interesting lineup decisions, but mostly it was just the Mark Andrews dud that hurt me.
It was a good start.
So next week I got a bet with Edgy, who the Knights of Degen community should know pretty well. He runs a lot of the poker and he's a mod. So that's the week 8 side bet.
I still don't feel confident enough in my team to make a bet.
Bro, I've lost 3 Steeds in a row. Do you think I feel confident?
First off, you're a doctor, all right?
Again, I'm not a doctor.
You're basically a doctor, all right? And I work a poor man's job, all right? There's a distinct difference here. I'm not saying anything else other than that. I can't be buying Steeds and trading Steeds like that. I gotta grind for my. I unfortunately opted out of going to school to become a smarter person and bettering myself in life. Instead, I followed my heart and went with cooking instead. I still think I'm all right where I am.
Oh yeah, it's all about what you like, man. I went to the Army for 5 years to get to this, and that was.
I mean, I worked with the first guy I worked with in kitchens. Wanted to go to culinary school, didn't want to pay it, so he went into the military to get his school paid for, and then he ended up ended up becoming like the Kobe Shaq duo in kitchens in our area. Like once we linked up, like we worked together for like 6 years straight, but like our chemistry together was fucking crazy in the kitchens. Like the food we were coming up with was nuts. So like I do thank the United States government for allowing my friend to go to culinary school to learn the fancy shit that I didn't want to, and me being able to learn it off of him. So that's basically what made me what I am, is being able to work with someone.
What do you have like a specialty you do?
Nah, man, I just like to cook.
Food style?
I just like to cook. Like I feel like I'm really good at doing it all. Like I said it over the weekend. I was talking to someone. They're like, yeah, I do art. And I'm like, yeah, I can't paint a picture to save my life, but I can build a recipe in my head and put it on that plate for you. And that, to me, that's my art. Like that's my version of art. So
yeah, I like it. I got into smoking meats like a year ago or so.
That's fun too.
It's all wood.
That's good. Yeah.
No technology, no chips, other than thermometer.
Good old caveman style. That's my style. That's what I like.
I've liked it. Problem is, where I live in California, you do not smoke from like April to honestly about 2 weeks ago. It's just too hot. So
very dry.
This weekend I'm going to do my first. And it's too hot to stand by the smoker, man. It's 110.
Well, yeah. That's also not a good time to do it either. When it's super hot. But yeah, for you, you don't really get like for me now. I can go outside. It's fucking 60 degrees, and I could turn the smoker on and get something going. But like. Yeah, I'm not trying to do any of that shit in 110 degrees, because your temperatures, first off, your temperature is going to be off, because your temperature inside is not going to match what you think it is, because the temperature outside is making it even hotter.
You can't even touch the grill at all.
It's going to throw everything off from there. So like your cook times and your heat, like that becomes more of a pain in the ass. Then it becomes a challenge, which I like, but I'm not trying to stand outside in 110 degree weather, fucking with a 200 and some degree fire in front of me. Like I worked in kitchens where it got up to like 115 degrees on some, like during the summer sometimes, and I was like, yeah, that's enough for me. I don't need that shit. I remember hearing stories from like my instructor in school, like it got hot enough that you could literally crack an egg on the floor and it would start to like, it wouldn't cook fully like sizzle, but it would start to like turn white.
See the white?
It was that hot. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not trying to do all that, but yeah, smoking meats, like I have YouTube videos and stuff. Like I enjoy doing content. I'm just trying to find a time and place to like do more cooking content. I feel like my YouTube videos are kind of nice, but yeah, you're a doctor and I'm a kitchen worker. That's what it comes down to. On to the defenses. I guess yeah. Congratulations to our friend in Dubai.
Yeah,
on
his name's
Steed.
Dan. He's
I guess we'll find out tomorrow which Steed you
he's
end
an
up buying.
Irish guy teaching golf in Dubai.
Teaching golf.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good setup for himself. Yeah. So.
God damn. Like obviously UFC was just in Dubai. They were in Abu Dhabi this past weekend, and like seeing like the views and like the overhead and the shit that they're building, it's like so advanced, so crazy in the middle of a desert, nonetheless. And we're concerned about smoking meats in 110-degree weather, and they're out here building skyscrapers and shit. Like, goddamn, that's crazy.
Fair enough, yeah.
But yeah, congratulations to him. We'll find out what Steed is purchased tomorrow when the.
Also, you know how I'm trying to do the preview for the Steed's bet each week. So I had Edgy send me his players, and I might as well just send him a Steed right now.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, his team is stacked. Because I'm taking all bets, one a week. I'm not looking at your team. I'm doing whatever, and his team is definitely the best I will have faced.
Listen, you just need that 1 week where everything clicks because you won a high score, didn't you? Or no,
I was 8 short of the high score.
Yeah, like it's super discouraging.
I lost Cordero. That hurt me. I'm still holding him, but
yeah,
my RSP spot's been a big sore spot since that.
It just sucks knowing like I scored 162 in week 2, and like I know my team can do it, but when?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
When is Michael Thomas going to be healthy again? Yeah, like that's the only problem. Like I'm starting to get my receivers back. Like my receivers have been like I had the depth and then the injuries.
Well, Hopkins coming back is going to be big for you.
Oh, that's a big game. Yeah, I just need Amon-Ra to stay healthy. Like that's it. If I can have Amon-Ra and Hopkins as my like 2 solidified, and then I just have to rotate between Allen Robinson, Mike Thomas when he's healthy. Robert Woods is good. Yeah, I did. I know you did. Everyone did. I was telling people to pick him up when he was on waivers. Like
it depends on your team. I mean, he's better than some bench guys.
I know Van Jefferson's coming back soon. I don't know how soon, and I don't know how involved.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about that. He's supposed to play next week.
Yeah, I don't know how involved he'll be or what it's going to do for the offense. Maybe it opens it up a little bit, but like Allen Robinson's end zone targets were just like you can't have the same amount as Cooper Kupp and expect me to not want to play you. Like,
yeah, but his
the opportunities are there. It's the same thing as it's the same as talking like we were just talking about. What was it? The tight end who's getting fed and just not doing anything with it. Who the hell were we just talking
Ingram?
About? I mean, that's basically one of them, yeah.
Or you're talking about Zay Jones?
Zay, yeah. It's just essentially the Zay Jones thing. It's just not the targets, the end zone targets. You catch one of those, like he has a very sustainable game. But
sure,
I understand people not trusting. There's no way that Matt Stafford went to shit that fast.
I don't think he was that good. He led the league in interceptions last year. He was just masked by some other factors.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp. Inflated stats. But I just don't think he's that bad. I don't think he's terrible. I mean, he's not great, but like he's definitely serviceable. I just don't know what the hell's the offense just isn't clicking. But again, they're coming off a bye, so
the line's not good.
Same thing. Well, that's what you hope got better over the bye. Like same thing I said about the Raiders. Like you know you're in these games and you're just losing them because you're not playing a complete game. They played a complete game. Oh, Raiders defense last week, baby.
I mean, you're right. They got 10 points. That's fair. That's good.
That's a good day.
I started them in KFFL actually.
I did use them in DFS. Wasn't great, but it was definitely they paid their price. But
I'm looking at your defense list now. Where the Eagles dropped so much that they're under the threshold?
My week last week, so I imagine people dumped them. I saw that. I was like, yeah, I can't leave this off. Can't leave that off.
Oh no, that's a great ad.
So yeah, if they're out there, put the bid in.
Catch. I'm glad you caught that. I didn't even think to look for them because.
And then we're both on the Colts.
I held them through the bye in every league.
Yeah, I also held them. Now I can get rid of Tampa Bay because they're done for. I'll probably never start Tampa Bay's defense again since the Eagles had their bye.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Even in leagues where I picked up, good defenses, I'm not going to hold 2 defenses.
Nope.
I might try to throw a few trade offers just as like a kicker. Here's a receiver and a good defense for, whoever, but we'll see.
Yeah, but then we're both on the Colts, which I think is a good week for it.
Yeah.
Their defense isn't bad. Like their defense isn't bad. They just being forced to play.
The defense has been good. The problem is just their offense is so bad. Puts the defense in a lot of bad spots.
And
Jets got the Pats.
Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, I think
trying to turn the ball over this week. The Broncos' defense is solid.
Yes, they are. They are playable. They get Jacksonville. They are in Jacksonville.
Right.
Which could
playing in Jacksonville does mess people up. I think the humidity, whatever. People aren't used to it.
It could be something, and then they go on a bye next week, so you're probably not holding them.
No, I think it's a 1 week start.
Jacksonville's probably a fine start. Like Trevor Lawrence still seems to be making mistakes, so I can't imagine like it's a terrible like spot start.
It doesn't even matter. I feel like who the Broncos are playing, like other than perhaps the Chiefs, they're startable. They're not going to get you negative points.
And I have the Titans.
Happened to me a couple times this year.
I have the Titans in against Houston. I think that's a fine matchup. I think the Raiders can get a pick six and some sacks, then the Titans can probably do a little bit more.
Yeah.
I feel like their defense isn't terrible. I think they're pretty good. They get sacks. They've had 3 sacks the last 3 games. Forced fumble in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the last 6. So it's not bad. 2 interceptions. I mean, they had the Matt Ryan game. Basically, like didn't really work out.
R.I.P. Matt Ryan.
Yeah, it was nice knowing you, bud. See you later. They basically had the we'll call it the cycle for defense. They had a sack, forced fumble recovery, interception, and touchdown. The last game.
I like that.
I think that's capable against Houston. Also, division game. Games are a little bit tighter, so maybe we see. And then the Cardinals. I like the Cardinals this week. The Cardinals have been on fire the last few weeks, but they go into Minnesota and they get Kirk Cousins.
I don't like that at all. I hate it.
I'm not scared of Kirk Cousins, honestly. I'm really not.
I'm not scared of Kirk Cousins, but I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair.
The Vikings have looked good this year. Kirk Cousins has always been proficient. And unless that game's in prime time, I don't expect him to shit his pants. So I don't know. I don't like it.
I personally do not trust Kirk Cousins worth a damn. And I feel like against the Cardinals defense, that's like against the Cardinals team that's coming off a huge win, coming off getting their best player back and actually having like a full roster, like completed all positions.
Possible they make.
I think it's like one of those situations. But again, I would rather obviously have the Eagles and the Colts. But I would if the Cardinals were available and I couldn't get my hands on any of these other teams, I would play the Cardinals this week. They're basically like my Raiders pick last week. But yeah.
Yeah, but the Raiders were playing the Texans.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I just don't think Kirk Cousins is that. I think he's just an average quarterback. Like I think that's all he is.
I think he's a top 3rd percent, what's the word I'm looking for? Not.
I'm gonna have to poll my Vikings friends and see how that works out. Because none of them seem to like his ass either, which is crazy.
Yeah, but, I don't think that coaching has done a lot of favors in the last couple of years. He looks good this year. We'll see. I don't think that he's a great quarterback, but I think he's probably a top
startable
NFL quarterback.
Yeah,
fantasy wise, I think he's a top 12
startable. But yeah, that's where I sit on my defenses this week. I think it's obviously if the 4% of leagues or not the 4%,
if you can get the Eagles, get them and forget it.
Yeah,
I would pay some dollars for the Eagles.
I don't know what I paid. What did I pay for them? I kind of want to see. Well, I think I actually paid $15 for them.
I think we suggested them on that first or second show we did, and I think I got them for $1. And
yeah, I paid $15. I wasn't messing around. That's what I mean. Like,
it's better than paying $1 a week for 15 weeks. Streaming every week.
This is fair.
Good move.
And then I ended up getting. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that trade, that Henderson for Everett trade.
I think it helps you right now.
Like, I don't think Henderson makes his way in. There's a world he makes my flex this week. Yeah, I definitely start him over Gibson. So
yeah, touches why'd you have to.
And then I'm okay with having fucking Tunyon in for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, that's fine.
Other than that, I think that's a wrap to our show. And then basically, you need to tighten up and stop giving steeds away. I might have to make a steeds bet with you one of these weeks. Honestly, you're just giving them away.
Yeah, you might have to. I do not like my chances for week 8. See how it goes.
Hit the waiver wire, see what happens. If Jig is back there, Jig, you can hit us with the outro, and we'll be back next week.
At JungleGoat on Twitter.
At Doughboy __215. There's a word. I'm gonna see if Jay can get something to pop, get a graphic to pop up on the screen for us. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe. If you're watching us from Twitch, hit the follow button. Knights of Degen's on every single day with different content. We're on every Tuesday night, 9 to 10. I'm back on again Fridays at 8:30 for Zed Nights. There's VBA, TRV, all the games essentially. And then pick your poison throughout the week with what you want, sports-wise. But, for KFFL After Dark, we'll see you next time.